still don't understand how a parent would take a child to school and you end up going back to carry a dead body. You have to bury a child that you had so much hopes on and you had a beautiful future planned together. It's not something that is fair. And mostly when we were in school back then, education board, the executive used to come around the school environment to check the activities going on in school, how the child is coping with educational understanding, and also the well-being of the child. But I don't know if something like that is still happening.
Some schools in Nigeria have in recent times been gripped by cases of bullying and molestations of various forms. In some cases, some of the victims have suffered physical and mental trauma, while others have lost their lives in the process. As dust is yet to settle over the tragic death of Sylvester Oromoni, who was a student of Dowen College, Lagos, another family was thrown into mourning barely a month after, following the death of their son, Bright Chimdalu Onyekuluje, who was a student of St. Michael's Boys College, Anambra State. Reported recently is also the case of the 19-month-old Obina, who was flogged to death by a teacher. The deceased pupil was allegedly given 31 strokes of cane for playing with water and getting wet. For John Davis, who is alive to tell the tale, he has had a hard time challenging those who bully him in school. This has caused him mental and emotional instability as well as behavioral changes. These are just but a few examples of the numerous cases of violence occurring in our schools. Physical abuse and bullying are becoming rampant in Nigerian schools. According to the Crisis Prevention Institute, 1 in 10 children is bullied daily, while 1 in 5 children are bullied once a month. It also noted that oftentimes, school management is oblivious to the acts of bullying.
There have been, news, cases of child molestation. I wouldn't really call it bullying, but it's a clear case of child abuse, child molestation. And that is because most states in Nigeria have refused to domesticate the Child Rights Act. At the last check, about a few states have done that, but there are some other states that have refused to do so. And that's the, one step forward towards, trying to correct this anomaly in the educational system. State governors should try to domesticate those the Child Rights Act, so that people will be conscious of what they do when it comes to handling children.
An important skill teachers must possess for effective teaching and learning is the ability to provide a proper learning opportunity and a safe environment that is free of threat. But what happens when the teacher is the perpetrator of the heinous crime?
If the teacher is a perpetrator of bullying, I would look at the school and I would honestly put the blame on the school. There's some behaviors that are absolutely unacceptable in many schools. As a teacher, you have fiduciary responsibility for these students, whether you're childless, whether you have children, whatever be the case, you just really have a responsibility towards them, not only from your calling, but actually by the law. I don't know much about any other states except Lagos State. And I know that there are child protection laws in place. I also know that parents can report. Even a fellow teacher can be the whistleblower to the authorities. So I know that. I know without a shadow of a doubt that there is a channel for reportage.
Although many may argue that charity begins at home and that the onus to stop bullying lies with the parent, it is important to note that educational institutions should foster an atmosphere of respect, calm, and peaceful relations among kids in order to produce responsible citizens. Therefore, educators are an important piece to solving this puzzle.
What we did as a school was we just ensured that instead of saying no bullying, we said be kind. So instead of focusing on the negative behavior, we focused on the positive. We rewarded the positive. We have kindness songs. Each child has a kindness, each child wrote kindness stuff, and we have kindness. This class has a kindness wall where when you do something kind, you write it and it is displayed. Then also each child made a kindness pact, like a kindness promise. Each child in your own personal words. Because you cannot instruct a child in kindness. You can only demonstrate it and you can only show it. So we went there saying you can absolutely eradicate bullying. I mean, it's misdemeanors are part of life, I guess. But we can do our best to ensure that each child has a safe space in their learning environment. Prevention, the cameras are for prevention. The children know the cameras are there. It's not hidden camera because I want to catch you. We're not into that catching. That's the Nigerian, that's our Nigerian way. We catch after the fact, but no, we're not into catching, we're into prevention. So beforehand, you know what bullying behavior is. So if you act in a manner which can be construed as bullying, it's usually because you know what you're doing. It's rarely because you don't know that you're bullying. So, but basically prevention is just to educate.
Preventing bullying in schools will require a comprehensive approach that must involve students, teachers, administrators, parents, and even the host community. All parties must commit to reducing the incidence of bullying and preventing its occurrence if we want to put an end to the menace.